Hi guys, welcome to another episode of African Travel. Now with Trevor, we are at the Hideout Cafe in National Art Gallery in Bulawayo. I always struggle to like, their name is weird. Hideout Cafe is like a really cool cafe thingy. They've got like vegetarian drinks. You should try out Mchabezi's Have a King breakfast. Like, it's weird that we call him Have a King, but that's another politics of food and stuff. And I'm really honored today to have Prince Magriza Made. I'll ask him to introduce himself and what he does.
Okay, thanks for having me. My name is Prince Sivalo. I am a content creator, producer of a show that's known as Magriza Made Me Cook. I also double up as a cook, and sometimes, because of time, I'm also a fitness trainer. Love traveling. I'm a backpacker, and love music. Loves music.
Yeah, so like I'm trying to get Prince to join me at some point in this journey to try and document food and eating and like, you know, like they always call authentic African cuisine, what, and then they serve you rice and what.
Yeah.
So that's another conversation. So my first question is like, how has COVID changed the way that you work?
Okay, I think when starting the channel, we started the channel at, I think it was just a week before COVID hit. So our first video was, I think, on the 21st of February, and I think COVID hit about 2 weeks time. So I think, to me, on the content side, it was a blessing in disguise, because what COVID did now was like, okay, let's shut down the world for a moment. Let's put people in their corners. So when you're in the corner now, you have to start thinking now. You have to start, what am I doing? What are my plans? So within Magriza, that's why I think the conceptualization of the whole program was sort of like built when COVID started. But on the other hand now, as a traveler, Ashman, you know, us as Africans, we're travelers. It's within our DNA, it's in to us to move from one place to the other. So when they also shut us down, it was also, the body was like, what's going on here now? And I think mentally also was challenging on my side, not getting to meet, going to rural areas, going to the parks, just around Zim. So it was difficult, especially the first lockdown. That one, which was very, very tight, was difficult on our side. But like I said, I think it was also blessings in disguise. It was a blessing in disguise, and also opportunities on our side on how can we. I think from a tourism perspective, we always used to go around pitching ideas. We are a fan of domestic travel, local travel, so much inspired by what Short Left is doing in South Africa.
Everyone wants to do a short
left.
Everyone wants to do a short left across the continent.
Across the continent, because I think it's a good prototype on what they're doing in encouraging people to go. Because I always find it strange. You find when you go to Vic Falls, there's a person who's never been to Vic Falls who stays in Vic Falls. There's a problem there. You go to Nyanga, there are people who have never gone to Vumba Mountains. So I think it was also a call on how the domestic side of tourism can utilize that gap. But you find, we would say, okay, we understand why people don't travel domestically. The issue of disposable income. Because you can't go to Matobos when you don't have a minimum at home. So it was now mixing those two, and how these operators, these organizations could now scale up on domestic tourism. Yeah, I think that also limitation on the food, no more street food, we couldn't do that. Our shoots were also limited in where we were to go, because if you look at the show, we are predominantly in the rural areas, or predominantly on with our backpackers. So that was affected due to COVID. Yeah.
And with that in mind, like, how can like tourism businesses, especially like those that are looking on pushing domestic tourism, capitalize around culinary tourism and celebrating Zimbabwean cuisine and showcasing Zimbabwean cuisine to the domestic market, but also potentially to the international market?
Okay, I think you spoke about when you're discussing the menu of the Hideout. In that, firstly, I think these establishments need to define what Zimbabwean cuisine is, because it would be unfair for someone coming from England, and then we say Zimbabwean cuisine, then they get English breakfast in the morning.
And it's called Mzilias.
It's called Mzilias breakfast. Mzilias didn't eat that in the first place. So I think we just need to get the basics first, because honestly, we were still building a food culture in Zimbabwe. In the sense that you can't even in the city of Bulawayo to say I can somewhere to eat like local cuisine. You have to scratch your head, man. You have to like, okay, there's this
besides fish and chips,
besides Russian and those other types. So, but to the world, we think that's our original cuisine, but that's not. So we need to define what Zimbabwean cuisine is and look at how these agencies can just, I think, engage firstly with people. I know there are people on the ground who are doing this, like us. So it's sort of like I think you spoke about the issue of road mapping and stuff where you can understand what the cuisine is. Then two, taking forward is, I think another challenge, Trevor, is we don't have confidence in our food. I think that's where, because when you go to Holiday Inn, there's only a certain day where these cuisines are served. They will say Thursday is African cuisine day. Okay, yes. Then the rest of the days. So we are in Africa, but we're not in Africa. So when someone comes here, and fair and fine, if you're coming from England and you've got a fillet steak, medium, it's nice on your side, but you also want to experience something different. I think that's the essence of traveling. Open up your mind, open up new experiences, and food plays a pivotal role in that, where you go there and say, no, I ate a dish of amaqimbi when I was in Bula. What amaqimbi? Well, these are mopani, so on and so on. So I think that's what they need to do, is engage, research, and also bring out these cuisines on a regular basis. Then I think the tourists might also adopt. Then going forward on what they need to also think outside the box. I think COVID taught us that, and now there's so many developments in terms of digital marketing. What we saw on COVID was a boom in this technology, social media, Zoom. They now need to use those devices, have a proactive approach in using social media, website development, because people now on their phones. It's the conventional way of marketing of the posters. I think it's dead. So I think that's what they have to do going forward.
Yeah, and what is the one lesson that COVID has taught you?
I think one lesson, as human beings, we are united. We might say this and that, but COVID showed us that there's a connection within the world, the global world, and it's unfortunate we had to experience COVID to understand that. But if you look at it from a cultural aspect, dimension, look at here in Southern Africa, look at in Africa in general, how we are connected, not only on our skin, just look at the world view, the philosophies as Africans. That was amplified during COVID, and also take it to a global stage. What happens to another country can actually have impact in a country like here in Zimbabwe. So there is a global connection, which we call globalization. That was evident during COVID. And I think also coming together is also important, because there are times where I think COVID had an issue mentally for, I think, the mental cases, the rates of depression, rates of going up. It was important also to understand that COVID put us in a box, but we also had to, like I said, think outside that box.
Yeah, and for someone who is visiting Bulawayo or the Malet-Tebeleland region, to be specific, where is the one place you'd recommend for them to go and eat out, and what would you recommend for them to eat?
Okay, I think I always say, like here in the city of Bulawayo, if you want to experience authentic African cuisine that we always push, Makokova will start off there. If you just go to the townships, it's you'd get, because also the food has to also be accompanied with an experience, with emotion, getting to mingle with people. You just can't go to a restaurant and they just offer you food and you just leave with the full time, but there's nothing that you have experienced. So I think Makokoba. Then if you go outside, any raw area, man, Matopo was, that's one of my favorite to go areas. You actually experience everything in terms of the humility, in terms of the food. So yeah, I think also if Wange, we've been to Wange, Vic Falls, the famous Boma restaurant that offers.
I don't understand. I don't understand that restaurant. Like, I need to actually spend 5 days there to understand.
Yeah, I think maybe the issue of pricing there, and others will say the capital. What you call this in culture appropriation. But that's another debate for another day. You can also go to places like there's an area in Matezi. There are places that sell authentic indigenous food. There's also Vic Falls, just between, I think, 10 kilometers before Vic Falls. There's a guy called Culture Shanguli. He does also a fabulous job in presenting the local cuisine here in Zimbabwe. Yeah, but in Bulawayo, I would recommend in Makokoba. I think Makokoba for me. We've actually done a documentary there, so we've actually spent a week shooting the place. It's not.
I loved the when you went into the house. I remember the episode when you stayed in Makokoba and explored the.
Yeah, because also what we have on the show is what's called township tourism, and I was inspired by what they do in Soweto. It's like Soweto is like, okay, this is the place that they built for us, tuning appetite, but it's not fair. But let's just take it and see what we can do, utilize it to the best of our abilities. So you look at Soweto, you look at Orlando and so on. So I was like, why can't we have the same system? Like, why can't I just go stay in Makokoba and also encourage people to open the Airbnbs aside? Go have a auction experience. Stay there for 5 days. You won't be mugged. You won't be mugged. Those are stories that you see on the media, but personally, you won't be mugged. You can actually have an experience that will change your life there.
Okay, and my last question is for people that are interested in following Magriza Made cook. Where can they find the show? How can they support? Can they donate some coins? Okay. Can they sponsor? How can they go about that?
I don't know when this podcast will be out, but we've got a target at Magriza. We want to reach 10,000. Then we open a Patreon account.
10,000 subscribers. How many subscribers?
Well, the 8.6, I think.
Okay.
So almost it is in the belief that we wanted to put out content first, consistency, so that people, when we open that account, there's no reason for you not to donate, because we've actually seen the work. It's 2 years now going. So when you open the Patreon, please feel free to donate there. But the channel is there on YouTube. That's our main social media platform. I think we spoke just before the recording, in that also these tourism agencies need to be visible on social media. But also, you can see social media is so diverse. You've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Then there's YouTube coming as a search engine. TikTok. You've got WhatsApp now. So I think you have to decide which one is the main one.
Which one your customers kind of like?
I think Trevor, exactly.
Also, which one are you comfortable?
Yeah, like when we think of, can you see that the people are so good on Twitter? They've got like 500,000 subscribers. They'll be like tweeting the whole day. So I think you have to like, okay, then the people are good on Instagram. The people are good on Facebook. The people are good on YouTube. All of them are doing the same job. I think first you have to decide which one is your main platform. So for Magriza, it is YouTube. Then the other platforms support YouTube. Yeah. So if we don't post on social media, it's okay. But if we miss
YouTube,
it's a problem, because we've got a relationship. Actually, we say we are hired by Google to do the work. So it's like we miss a day and we've absconded a day. We might get a written warning soon. So that's our main YouTube. But in that case, we're also very visible on social media: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Still contemplating on TikTok, but I think we're going to open it very, very soon.
Definitely.
Because I think concentration span is now low, so we need to do the short video. So that's my website, magrizamademycook.com.
So guys, follow Prince's work, support, give them coins, don't wait for the 10,000, send that money, support the work that they do, host them, ask them about recommendations for food in Bulawayo, everywhere. Their DMs are open in Zim. Magriza Made Me Cook on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, on YouTube, Magriza Made Me Cook.com on
the
website. You can find all the information, past episodes, upcoming episodes, and the future Patreon account that's going to be set up at 10,000
hoping
subscribers.
end of this month.
So we'll post this, and also sponsor the podcast. Link in bio.
Yes, please,
sponsor the podcast.
Please sponsor Trevor.
Let's share the podcast with friends, family, whoever. Find it everywhere. That's it from me. Till the next episode. Bye.
Cheers.